Namaskar, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Chief Justice of India and judges of the Supreme Court, a very warm welcome to the valedictory function of the Constitution Day celebrations. We are honored by the august presence of the Honorable President of India, Srimati Draupadi Murmu. We would also like to welcome on the dais the Honorable Chief Justice of India, Dr. Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, the Honorable Minister of Law and Justice, Shri Kiran Rijiju, the Honorable Shri Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaul, Judge Supreme Court of India, Honorable Shri Justice K.M. Joseph, Judge Supreme Court of India, Honorable Shri Justice M.R. Shah, Judge Supreme Court of India, and Honorable Shri Justice Ajay Rastogi, Judge Supreme Court of India. May I request the Honorable Shri Justice K.M. Joseph to render the welcome address.
Her Excellency, the President of India, Srimati Draupadi Murmu, Honorable Union Minister of Law and Justice, Justice Kiran Rijiju, Dr. Justice Dhananjaya B. Chandrachud, Honorable the Chief Justice of India, my esteemed brother Justice M.R. Shah, my esteemed brothers and sister judges, Chief Justices and judges of the High Courts, Attorney General, members of the Bar, members of the Registry, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure and I deem it a privilege to be tasked with the pleasant assignment of welcoming all of you. The adoption of the Constitution of India on the 26th of January 1949 marked the culmination of a long but uniquely peaceful struggle by millions who stood shoulder to shoulder, burying their differences based on religion and caste and the region from which they hailed. Article 51A(b) of the Constitution declares it to be a duty for every citizen to cherish and follow the noble ideals which inspired our national struggle for freedom. Not unnaturally, Article 51 declares that it is a fundamental duty for every citizen to promote harmony and a spirit of common brotherhood amongst all the people of India, transcending religious, linguistic, and regional or sectional diversities, and to renounce practices derogatory to the dignity of women. Our Constitution is a fine document, as much as it is a noble document, instrument. The Constitution of a country constitutes the chief mechanism for ordering the life of a nation, and it is not a mere document. It is the people who are charged with the duty of operating the Constitution who alone can give life to it. Each generation of citizens is duty-bound to remain alert and on their toes to safeguard the core values that the Constitution seeks to uphold and promote. Every act or omission of one generation will either be a milestone marking the progress of a nation or, God forbid, the times which future generations will unerringly point to as tragic aberrations. In fact, it is Dr. B.R. Ambedkar who reportedly said that if I find the Constitution being misused, I shall be the first to burn it. It is a legitimate right and duty of every citizen in every walk of life he may find himself to prevent the Constitution being abused. It was Edmund Burke who proclaimed, "Nobody makes a greater mistake than he who does nothing because he could do only a little." Fraternity is one of the most cherished ideals firmly enshrined in the preamble to the Constitution. The Constitution of India contemplates that Bharat will be a secular nation. It is here that I recall the words of Thomas Jefferson, who declared that, quote, that government is the strongest of which every man feels himself a part, unquote. The Constitution of India envisaged by our founding fathers envisages liberty again as a fundamental norm. Liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship are not merely words appropriately proclaimed in the preamble, but they are meant to ignite the minds and hearts of every citizen at all points of time, wherever they are. I recall the words of Benjamin Franklin, who cautioned, quote, "Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety," unquote. While we have achieved commendable progress, we have a long way to go to fulfill the hopes and aspirations of the founding fathers of the Constitution. With these few words, I now proceed to discharge the duties cast on me. Her Excellency, the Honorable President of India, is a unique personality. Born in a Santali tribal family on the 20th of June 1958, she became the first woman to receive college education from her village. She worked as a junior assistant for nearly 4 years. Thereafter, she became an honorary teacher. Later, she was elected as a member of the Legislative Assembly of Odisha for 2 terms. She discharged responsibility as a minister in different departments. Being a member of several committees and noting her performance, it is not unnatural that she was awarded the Pandit Nilkanta Das Best Legislator Award by the Odisha Legislative Assembly in the year 2007. She went on to become the governor of the state of Jharkhand and discharged her duties for the full term. Her fairness and independence have earned her appreciation from all. I understand that as governor, she refused to give her assent to 2 bills which were perceived as invading the rights of tribal communities on their lands. The bills, interestingly, were later withdrawn. She is the youngest president of India. She is the first tribal to become president and the second woman president. She is the first president to be born after the adoption of the Constitution. The people of Bharat legitimately look to the presidency under you to blossom into a period when you will continue to display independence in the discharge of your onerous duties and exercise of your powers under the Constitution. I, on behalf of everyone present here, extend a warm and hearty welcome to you. The Honorable Minister of Law and Justice hails from the state of the dawnlit mountains. He exudes a warmth which comes naturally to those who come from the hills. There's always a friendly smile which refuses to go away. Beneath this soft exterior, I believe, there is a man with firm convictions which he holds dear enough to articulate them honestly. I hope that under his stewardship, the Ministry of Law and Justice and the judiciary can work in harmony to achieve the goals of our Constitution. I extend a warm welcome to him. As a formal gesture, I extend a warm welcome to Honorable the Chief Justice of India, Dr. Dhananjaya Chandrachud, who has a fairly long tenure and the mettle to match the demands of the High Office of the Chief Justice of India. I extend a warm welcome to my brother Justice M.R. Shah. I welcome all my brother and sister judges of the Supreme Court. I extend words of warm greetings of welcome to the Chief Justice of the High Court and the judges of the High Court who have assembled here. Finally, I welcome each and every one of you to the valedictory or farewell function of the celebrations of the Grand Norm, which I pray may continue to illumine our paths. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. May I now request the Honorable Union Minister of Law and Justice, Shri Kiren Rijiju, to address the audience.
Honorable President of India, Srimati Draupadi Murmu ji, Honorable Chief Justice of India, Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, Honorable Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaul, Honorable Justice Joseph, Honorable Justice Rastogi, my colleague S.P. Singh Baghel, all the honorable judges of Supreme Court and all the Chief Justice of the High Court and the judges of the High Court, Sri Venkat Ramaniji, Honorable Attorney General of India, Sri Manan Kumar Mishra, Chairman, Bar Council of India, Sri Vikas Singh, President, Bar Supreme Court Bar Association, senior officers of Government of India, friends from media, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, I am deeply honored to be part of this valedictory session of the Constitution Day celebrations organized by the Supreme Court. To add fervor to this day, and it is a proud moment for our country that today we are honored to have a woman President of India presiding over today's program. Honorable Madam President, we are truly blessed with your esteemed presence amidst us in this auspicious occasion. In this light, I must say that inclusiveness and gender equality in the legal ecosystem is key thrust area. I would like to also recall that when I visited London, I visited the place where the first law minister of our country, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, stayed when he was pursuing his master's degree. And a bold line of his famous line was written there. And rightly so, I read it. In fact, I read it loudly there. Ambedkar said, I measure the progress of a community by the degree of progress which women have achieved. Over the past 7 decades of India's journey as an independent nation, the representation of women as judges has increased. However, much distance needs to be traversed to address the needs of providing diversity in the higher judiciary and to meet the expectations of the cross-section of people and areas. These challenges need to be addressed during Amrit Kal, when India marches its journey towards its 100 years of independence. In the matters of appointment of judges, the Government of India is committed to social diversity and has been requesting the Honorable Chief Justices of the High Courts to provide for the same while sending proposals for the appointment of judges. Justice is a pious principle enshrined in the preamble of the Constitution of India. Ease of justice should also be an important indicator to measure ease of living. आदरणीय राष्ट्रपति महोदया जी, मैं आपके समक्ष कुछ बातें रखना चाहता हूं। देश का कानून मंत्री होने के नाते हमने कुछ पहल की है और आपको बताते हुए हर्ष और मुझे खुशी हो रही है कि जुडिशरी और सरकार के तालमेल की वजह से हमने कई कीर्तिमान हासिल किया है। जब हम न्याय का बात करता है तो न्याय व्यवस्था कैसी हो, इसका हमने काफ़ी करीबी से अध्ययन किया है और मैं आज आपके सामने मैं बताना चाहता हूं कि भारत के जुडिशरी, ख़ास तौर पर सुप्रीम कोर्ट के नेतृत्व में जो कदम उठाए गए हैं और हमारे सरकार के साथ जिस तरीके से बहुत ही संगठित तरीके से, बहुत ही सोच विचार के साथ, तालमेल के साथ काम कर रहे हैं, उसके बदौलत कई चुनौतियों का हमने हल भी किया है और कई चुनौतियां बाकी हैं। पिछले साल हमने मुख्यमंत्रियों और हाई कोर्ट के चीफ जस्टिस के साथ जो बैठक हुए उसमें माननीय चीफ जस्टिस साहब और सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जजेस सम्मिलित थे। हमने कई अहम मुद्दों पर चर्चा की है और उस मुद्दे जो हमने उठाए थे और चीफ मिनिस्टर्स और चीफ जस्टिसेस ने जो उठाए थे उसको फॉलो अप करने का भी हमने काम किया है। और साथ साथ में सुप्रीम कोर्ट के नेतृत्व में कई चीज़ें आज हमने जो टेक्निकल सेशन में भी मैंने एक समय चीफ जस्टिस साहब के जो प्रेजेंटेशन को भी सुना और मुझे बताया गया कि उसके बाद जो टेक्निकल सेशन हुए हैं उसमें कई चीफ जस्टिसों का अच्छा प्रेजेंटेशन हुआ है। और मुझे उड़ीसा हाई कोर्ट में जाने का मौका मिला और कुछ हाई कोर्ट्स का विज़िट करने का और मौका मिला। मैंने देखा है जो कदम हाई कोर्ट के जो चीफ जस्टिस के नेतृत्व में और वहाँ जो ई कमेटी और वहाँ जो आईटी कमेटी होते हैं उनके नेतृत्व में जो कदम उठाए हैं वो सराहनीय है। मैं मानता हूँ कि जो पहल सुप्रीम कोर्ट और हाई कोर्ट्स ने जो की है वैसे ही जो डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट्स हैं और जो लोअर कोर्ट्स हैं कई वहाँ भी काम हो रहे होंगे और कुछ लोगों में मैंने जानकारी प्राप्त की है, लेकिन ध्यान हमको अब ऊपर से लेकर के अब नीचे का लोअर जुडिशरी में केंद्रित करना होगा। क्योंकि जब हम पेंडिंग ऑफ केसेस का बात करते हैं, पेंडेंसी का इशू उठाते हैं, तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट में आखिर 70,000 के लगभग पेंडिंग केसेस है। हाई कोर्ट्स में लगभग 70 लाख आसपास केसेस पेंडिंग है और बाकी तो नीचे के अदालतों में है। तो जब तक हम अपने जो जिले स्तर के नीचे के अदालतों का हालात को ठीक नहीं करेंगे तब तक हम जो मूल समस्याएं जो 5 करोड़ की और हम जा रहे हैं पेंडेंसी उसको किस तरह से बांध के रखना ही नहीं, उसको कम करने का जो हमारा लक्ष्य है वो प्राप्त नहीं हो पाएगा। इसलिए लोअर जुडिशरी को हम एट द सेंटर ऑफ आवर अटेंशन बीच में केंद्रित करके हम आगे चलेंगे। मुझे लगता है कि जो अच्छे काम हाई कोर्ट्स में किए हैं और सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जो लीडरशिप हमने देखा है वो हमको नीचे में देखना बहुत ज़रूरी है। मैं विश्वास दिलाता हूँ हमारे मंत्रालय से और ख़ास करके जो डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ जस्टिस है सुप्रीम कोर्ट के साथ बहुत अच्छे तालमेल के साथ काम कर रहे हैं। हम और भी योगदान हमारे ओर से दिया जाएगा। जहां फंड्स की आवश्यकता ज़रूरत पड़ेगा, हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी आज हमारे बीच में थे, उनका एक कमिटमेंट है कि जुडिशरी का जो भी ज़रूरत है वो पूरा करने में सरकार कोई कसर नहीं छोड़ेगा। मैं समझता हूं कि इस तरह के जब संविधान दिवस मनाया जाता है हम अपना इतिहास को भी देखते हैं कि हम कहाँ पहुँचे हैं और हमको कहाँ तक जाना है उसका भी लक्ष्य तय होना चाहिए। जब हम आज का जर्नी का हम कहते हैं कि 73rd कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन डे और आज़ादी का 75 साल पूरे हो गए हैं, तो जब इस जर्नी के दौरान जितने लोगों ने इस सफ़र में इस महान देश को यहाँ पहुँचाया है उनका योगदान को भी हम हमेशा याद रखते हैं, उनका हम नमन करते हैं। ऐसे समय में कुछ चुनौतियां और हैं जो मैं आज आदरणीय राष्ट्रपति महोदय के सामने में भी रखना चाहता हूं, क्योंकि हमारा देश के जुडिशरी के जो टॉप लोग यहाँ चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ इंडिया से लेकर के हाई कोर्ट के चीफ जस्टिस यहाँ मौजूद हैं। मैं कहना चाहता हूँ महिलाओं का, बच्चों का और कई सेंसिटिव जो केसेस सामने में आते हैं, मैंने हाल ही में एक पत्र लिखा हाई कोर्ट के चीफ जस्टिस सबको और मुख्यमंत्रियों को, जो फास्ट ट्रैक स्पेशल कोर्ट्स हैं, हमने फास्ट ट्रैक कोर्ट्स सेटअप किए हैं और साथ साथ में टोटल एज ऑन 31 जुलाई 2022 731 फास्ट ट्रैक कोर्ट्स with 412 exclusive POCSO courts are operational in 28 states and UTs। मैं नाम नहीं लेना चाहता हूँ, कुछ स्टेट्स इस पे आगे नहीं बढ़ पाए और जब कुछ घटनाएं होते हैं मुद्दे हमारे जब देश के सामने में आते हैं तो हमको जवाब देना पड़ता है, क्योंकि हम जवाबदेही हैं कि ऐसे मामलों को निपटने के लिए जुडिशरी और सरकार मिलकर के क्या कदम उठाए हैं। ऐसे में मुझे लगता है कि जो अचीवमेंट हुए हैं ये भी हमको सेलिब्रेट करना चाहिए कि हमने कुछ अचीवमेंट किए हैं, लेकिन जो हमको करना चाहिए उस पर भी हमको बिल्कुल ध्यान देना आवश्यकता है। आज इस संविधान दिवस के अंतिम जो हमारा वैलिडिटी फंक्शन है, इस शुभ अवसर पर मैं तमाम लॉयर्स, पर्टिकुलरली जो हमारा नेशनल लीगल सर्विसेज अथॉरिटीज़ के कार्यक्रम के तहत लाखों लोगों को जो लीगल सर्विस दी है, जो हमारा लीगल पैनल लॉयर्स हैं, पैरा लीगल वॉलंटियर्स हैं, जो कोई फीस के लिए काम नहीं करते हैं, उनको लाखों एक केस के लिए फीस पैसे नहीं मिलते हैं, लेकिन अपना ज्ञान जो लॉ डिग्री किए हैं, वकील बने हैं, उसका सर्विस गांव में पैदल चल करके गरीबों को फ्री लीगल सर्विस देने के लिए जो काम करते हैं, ऐसे वकीलों को मैं सैल्यूट करना चाहता हूं। साथ साथ में जो हम आज प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कुछ सुझाव दिए हैं और हमारे ऑनरेबल चीफ जस्टिस धनंजय चंद्रचूड़ जी ने कई चीज़ें मुझे बताए हैं, मुझे लगता है कि आने वाले दिनों में हम ये जो 5 करोड़ के पास पेंडेंसी पहुंचने वाला है, उसको किसी ना किसी तरीके से हम उस चैलेंजेस को फेस करेंगे। कुछ आइडियाज़ मेरे भी आए हैं, आज इस आइडियाज़ को यहाँ विस्तार में शेयर करने का समय नहीं है, उतने उपलब्ध नहीं हमारे पास, लेकिन हम जब अगले बार बैठेंगे आगे का रास्ता तय करने के लिए हम मिलजुल करके काम करेंगे। आज के इस शुभ अवसर पर आदरणीय राष्ट्रपति महोदया जी हमारे बीच में होना, ये हम सब के लिए गर्व का पल तो है ही है। साथ साथ में खास करके चीफ जस्टिस साहब और सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जो हमारे सीनियर जजेस हैं, आप लोगों ने कई जो पहल की है, टेक्निकल सेशन में लीड किए हैं, आपके लीडरशिप में मैं आपको धन्यवाद देते हुए आज के इवेंट में जितने भी आप लोगों ने योगदान दिया है, इंक्लूडिंग बार, सुप्रीम कोर्ट बार एसोसिएशन के लोग, हमारे बार काउंसिल के लोग, जो भी योगदान दिया है, मैं आपको धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूं। और फिर से मुझे आपके बीच में आने का मौका दिया और इस बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण दिवस को मनाने का जो आपने पीड़ा उठाया है, उसमें आपके बीच में 2 शब्द कहने का मुझे मौका दिया है। आप सबको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। जय हिंद।
Thank you, sir. May I now request the Honorable Chief Justice of India, Dr. Justice Dhananjay Yashwant Chandrachud, to address the audience.
Namaskar. The Honorable President of India, Srimati Draupadi Murmu, Shri Kiran Rijiju ji, the Union Minister of Law and Justice, my distinguished colleagues, Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaul, Justice K.M. Joseph, Justice M.R. Shah, Justice Ajay Rastogi, and all my brother and sister judges, Shri R. Venkatramani, the Learned Attorney General for India, Shri Tushar Mehta, the Solicitor General, Chairperson of the Bar Council of India, Shri Manan Kumar Mishra, Vice Chairperson Shri Prabhakaran, Shri Pradeep Kumar Rai, Vice President of the SCBA, Shri Manoj Mishra, President of the Supreme Court Advocates on Record Association, members of the Bar, both senior and junior, members of the Registry, and all those who are present here today. It is an honor and privilege for me to address this august gathering on the occasion of Constitution Day. We are deeply honored to welcome to the home of the Supreme Court the Honorable President of India. the personality of the Honorable President and her own evolution on the path of life holds a beacon of hope for every young Indian, man or woman. When I called on the Honorable President on assuming charge of the office of the Chief Justice of India a few days ago, I was deeply struck by her sense of compassion and appreciation of the nuances of our social life. There is no better time to recall that India is one of the few nations where the Constitution was written by her people. Unlike in many other countries which achieved independence from the British, we forged our own Constitution. We forged it in the flames of the ardent hope for a bright future. The first constitutions of Zimbabwe, Kenya, and Malaysia, to name a few countries, were written in Lancaster House, close to the Buckingham Palace in London. It is a matter of great pride for us that our Constitution was written here in New Delhi. One might say to us, well, Indians did not write their Constitution as much as they borrowed it, referring to the provisions inspired by the constitutions of other countries. It is true that, for example, the directive principles of state policy were inspired by Ireland's system, or that the chapter on fundamental rights was prompted by the United States Bill of Rights. But that does not detract from the fact that the Constitution of India is uniquely Indian. The framers of the Constitution carefully considered the suitability of various provisions before modifying and incorporating them such that they suited the Indian context and the Indian polity. In the manner of its practical functioning too, our Constitution is uniquely Indian. I was Chief Justice of the Allahabad High Court for close to 3 years. The only remnant of the colonial past which you find in oral arguments is when the lawyer opens the brief by saying, "My Lord." Thereafter, what follows is a truly Indian style of advocacy, largely Hindi, interspersed with a little English and a few Latin phrases. The Constitution of India is doubly unique, for it is one of the few post-colonial constitutions to endure for around 7 decades after its creation. I take the liberty to say that it has not only endured, but it has thrived and flourished. It has survived the stresses of some difficult times. Some of us have been witness to those times when we were young children and in college. I take the liberty to say that it has not only therefore endured, but it continues to be of relevance. The continuing success of the Constitution is a testament to the people's choice of the rule of law over brute force to achieve a social revolution. India has no doubt developed a robust constitutional culture, but this does not mean that there is nothing left to be achieved. Indeed, we can never say that today the Constitution has achieved all that it's set to do, because much like the law which is practiced from day to day, constitutional values are also practiced every moment. The practice of constitutional values is a continuous process which evolves as society evolves. The people of India, in their interactions with one another, must breathe life into the Constitution by practicing the democratic ideals of liberty, equality, and fraternity. The courts of our country must sustain this practice by foregrounding these same values in their judicial decisions, and the legislature and the executive must enable the practice of liberty, equality, and fraternity. On the eve of the adoption of the Constitution, Baba Saheb Dr. B.R. Ambedkar The architect of the Constitution said, and I quote the distinguished jurist, "These principles of liberty, equality, and fraternity form a union of trinity in the sense that to divorce one from the other is to defeat the very purpose of democracy. Without equality, liberty would produce the supremacy of the few over the many. Equality without liberty would kill individual initiative. Without fraternity, liberty and equality could not become a natural course of things. It would require a constable to enforce them." There is no better way to celebrate the Constitution than by practicing its ideals every single day of our lives, the ideals of liberty, equality, and fraternity. Through its programs, the Supreme Court has attempted to apply these ideals as well. It is in the process of extending the establishment of vulnerable witness deposition centers to courts across jurisdiction and enabling paperless courts. The Supreme Court recently inaugurated, a couple of days ago, an online right to information portal to streamline the process of transparency. E-Seva Kendras are being set up in every district so that every citizen may deploy technology to ease their journey through the legal system. The National Judicial Data Grid is a giant step towards making the legal profession more accessible. Soon, the Supreme Court will conduct an audit of its own premises to review and ensure its accessibility to persons with disabilities. When I stand before you exactly 1 year from now, I hope that I can list out a new set of ventures that makes justice more accessible to the common citizen. The discussion in today's sessions on judicial infrastructure, judicial reforms, and court and case management will prove useful in this mission. The course of today's discussions has brought together Chief Justices of all the High Courts who bring years of experience with social life, in legal life, and as administrators, both in the High Courts of their parent origin and beyond. These discussions have been open, candid, and in a footing of equality and mutual trust and confidence. I hope that we can continue this dialogue further in the future so that our association with our Chief Justices and High Courts is not the association of a superior in the hierarchy speaking to somebody below in the hierarchy, but an association truly of equals who respect each other for the work which we do. Finally, I would like to recall that the Constituent Assembly had to account for an important aim while drafting the Constitution. They had to ensure that national unity prevailed. The common expression, unity in diversity, comes to mind because that is precisely what our Constitution manages to achieve. Its strength comes from its ability to account for the rich tapestry of human experience in India, be it cultural, social, religious, or otherwise, and still chart out a vision for a progressive future. The Constitution does not force its citizens to choose between their rights and their culture. Rather, it includes the cultural, social, and religious aspects in its journey to the goal of a democratic society. This is perhaps what that distinguished scholar Granville Austin would term the principle of accommodation. Accommodation is the ability to simultaneously apply principles which seem to be in conflict with one another. Accommodation is different from compromise. Compromise involves concessions. Like the Constitution, Indian society has displayed the remarkable ability to be accommodative of various concerns which seem to be in conflict with one another. We must uphold the idea of unity in diversity by continuing to be accommodative of one another. With that thought, I come to the end of my brief speech. I thank once again the Honorable President of India and each one of you for participating in the event today and for making it a resounding success. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir. On this special occasion, may I request the Honorable Chief Justice of India to present a memento to the Honorable President of India. May I request the Honorable Chief Justice of India to present the first copy of Indian Judiciary Annual Report 2021-2022 to the Honorable President of India. On this momentous occasion, may I now request the Honorable President of India, Srimati Draupadi Murmu, to deliver the valedictory address.
Chief Justice of India, Dr. Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, Union Minister for Law and Justice, Sri Kiren Rijiju, distinguished judges of Supreme Court, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I am glad to be here today on the historic occasion of Constitution Day. On this day, 73 years ago, the Constituent Assembly adopted this document of our collective destiny. We are commemorating today the adoption of the Constitution that has not only guided the journey of the Republic over the decades, but has also inspired several other nations in the drafting of their constitutions. The Constituent Assembly was composed of elected members who represented all the regions and communities of the nation. They included stalwarts of our freedom movement. Thus, their debates and the document they prepared reflect the values and guided the struggle for independence. When we read the names of the members of the Assembly, we are bound to feel a surge of pride. The decades before independence were marked by the unusual number of extraordinary individuals. I sincerely believe that no other place and no other time have produced a galaxy of giants like them. They had their own dreams and ideas, but the characters of this nation. But they were united in their desire to see it freed of shackles. They all made great sacrifices to ensure that the coming generations would breathe the air of a free nation. The first among them all, of course, was the father of the nation. The visionary leadership of Mahatma Gandhi created a generation of great leaders. The Constitution bears an unmistakable stamp of Gandhian principles. Equally, the President of the Constituent Assembly and also my great predecessor, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, and the Chairman of the Drafting Committee, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, converted a grand vision into words. I am especially proud of the fact that the 389 members also included 15 women, when some of the leading nations in the West were still debating women's rights. In India, women were participating in the framing of the Constitution. Hansaben Mehta, one of them, also made a critical contribution in the drafting of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Sarojini Naidu, Suchita Kripaleni, Durgabai Deshmukh, and other women members were already seasoned campaigners, having dedicated themselves to the freedom movement. Speaking of women, I would like to note that their participation in the public life since independence has shown an upward trend, but there is no reason to be content. I understand the judiciary to strive to enhance gender balance. Ladies and gentlemen, the cornerstone of the Constitution is summed up in its preamble. Its singular focus is on how to increase social good. Its entire edifice rests on justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. I would like to note here that these four stellar values enshrined in our Constitution have been part of our own timeless heritage. When we speak of justice, we understand it is an ideal and achieving it is not without obstacles. Here, I must mention my immediate predecessor, Sri Ramnath Kovind, who often stressed on the cost of justice. Onus is on all of us to make the process of seeking justice affordable to all. I appreciate the efforts made by the judiciary in this direction. The Legal Aid Society and similar initiatives are worth praising. And so far, individual initiatives to provide legal counseling for free. The question of access often goes beyond cost matters. The Supreme Court of India and several other courts now make judgments available in a number of Indian languages. This praiseworthy gesture makes an average citizen a stakeholder in the process. It can also raise their awareness as well as the quality of public debates. Still, the legal language, its complicated expression and jargon are challenging for most people. I understand that this matter has been debated in the judiciary too. Let us hope the day is not far when more and more people from outside the legal fraternity too will be able to read important judgments. The Supreme Court and several other courts have started live streaming their proceedings, which too will go a long way in making citizens affected stakeholders in the dispensation of justice. Ladies and gentlemen, the Constitution outlines a map for good governance. The most crucial features in this is the doctrine of separation of functions and powers of the three organs of the state, namely the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. It has been the hallmark of our republic that the three organs have respected the boundaries set in place by the Constitution. Each of three aims, after all, to serve the people. It is understandable that the zeal to be best serve the interest of these citizens. One or the other of the three organs may be tempted to overstep. Yet we can say with satisfaction and pride that the three have always attempted to keep the boundaries in mind while doing their best to function in the service of the people. In this regard, let me note that the Supreme Court has earned a reputation for its superior standards and lofty ideals. It has played its role as the interpreter of the Constitution in the most exemplary way. Landmark judgments passed by this court have strengthened the legal and constitutional framework of our nation. The Supreme Court bench and the bar are known for their legal scholarship. The Supreme Court has been served by judges who have provided intellectual depth, vigor, and vitality necessary to create a world-class institution. I am confident that this court would always remain the sentinel of justice. I wish the Chief Justice and the judges of the Supreme Court the very best for the future. Before I conclude, मैं कहना चाहती हूँ कि मैं जो आप सब जानते हैं, मैं एक छोटी सी गांव से आई हूँ जहाँ कोई भी ऐसी, मैं जब पैदा हुई थी, जन्म ली थी 1958 में, वहाँ कोई भी ऐसे सुविधा नहीं थी। गांव के लोग, हम ये तीन लोगों को भगवान मानते थे, टीचर, डॉक्टर और लॉयर्स। टीचर को ओडिया में एक प्रोवर्ब कहते हैं, गुरु को न मानिब नर गुरु ही न साक्षात ईश्वर। गुरु एक मनुष्य नहीं, ये साक्षात ईश्वर है। और डॉक्टर को भगवान मानते थे क्योंकि वो जीवनदाता है। डॉक्टर और लॉयर्स के पास कितने टाइम लोग जाते हैं जो अब परेशान में होते हैं, दुख में, परेशान में। जिंदगी या उनके पास जो भी हो, धन दौलत, जमीन, जो भी जायदाद देने को लिए तैयार हो जाते हैं कि हम लोग परेशान से थोड़ा पार करो। जो मैं एमएलए बनी तो भाग्य से मुझे होम स्टैंडिंग कमेटी का चेयरमैन बनाया गया। मुझे पूरा राज्य में जितने भी प्रिजन, जितने भी जेल था, मुझे घूमने को मौका मिला। ऐसे नहीं कि मुझे भेजा गया, मैं जानना चाहती थी वहाँ लोग कौन लोग वहाँ होते हैं, क्या करते हैं, क्या खाते हैं, कैसे जीते हैं, कैसे कैसे परेशानी में, क्यों, क्या वो गुनाह किया, क्या क्राइम किया, क्यों यहाँ पड़े हैं। कोई 10 साल से, कोई 20 साल से, कोई 25 साल से, कोई 30 साल से जिंदगी वहाँ वो बिता रहे थे। आप सब जानते हैं स्टैंडिंग कमेटी का काम है रिपोर्ट देना। मैंने आके सभी होम डिपार्टमेंट के जितने भी ऑफिसर्स को मैं बुलाती थी, मीटिंग करती थी, डीजीपी को कहती थी, सीएम को जाके अपना जो भी अनुभव मैं बताती थी। थोड़ा बहुत कुछ हुआ, लेकिन जो मैं चाहती थी वो नहीं हो पाया। लेकिन भाग्य से मुझे गवर्नर बनाया गया। इसी तरह की ऐसे पीछे वाला स्टेट में, जैसे कि ओडिशा जैसे पीछे है, ऐसे ही मुझे झारखंड में बनाया गया, गवर्नर बनाया गया। मुझे एक मौका मिला कि सुप्रीम हाई कोर्ट जजों के साथ एक जज यहीं पे, हाई कोर्ट जज यहीं पे बैठे हैं, बॉस जी, मैंने देख रही हूँ। 4-5 ऐसे चीफ जस्टिस के साथ मुझे काम करने का, वार्ता करने का मुझे मौका मिला। वीरेंद्र सिंह मुझे तो शपथ दिलाए थे, उनसे भी मैं बात की, लेकिन वो ज़्यादा दिन उनका हो गया टेन्योर, तो मेरे साथ नहीं काम किया। लेकिन 2-3 इनके साथ भी बात की, लेकिन ये भी ज़्यादा दिन नहीं, वो तो यहाँ आ गए। लेकिन ऐसे 2 सुप्रीम कोर्ट जज, एक है पीके महंती और एक है डीएन पटेल। डीएन पटेल तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट की जज तो हाई कोर्ट की ये तो जज तो नहीं बन पाई ये है, तो फिर इंचार्ज थे। लेकिन वो बहुत ही, उनको मैं अप्रिशिएट करना चाहूँगी। मुझे पता नहीं आपका क्या ख्याल है, मुझे तो उनके ऊपर बहुत अच्छा ख्याल है। मैं अपनी बातें मैंने कहने लगी तो क्योंकि मैं थोड़ा उनके लिए कुछ करना चाहिए आप लोगों को, क्योंकि कौन लोग हैं जेल में, कौन लोग हैं? ना उनको फंडामेंटल राइट्स के बारे में पता है, ना उनको प्रियम्बल के बारे में पता है, ना फंडामेंटल ड्यूटी के बारे में पता है। थोड़ा बहुत कुछ कर दिया, किसी को थप्पड़ मार दिया। आप जानते हैं वहाँ के लोग थोड़ा खाने पीने में, दूसरा चीज़ खाने पीने में माहिर होते हैं, है ना। थोड़ा बहुत कुछ ऐसे कर दिया, किसी को थप्पड़ मार दिया, क्या क्या दफा लगा दिया जो लगाना नहीं चाहिए। लेकिन वो सब, क्योंकि आजकल ऐसे बहुत सारा होता है, तो ये सालों साल उनको छुड़ाते नहीं है। उसका कारण जो भी बचा कुचा है ना घर पे, जमीन जायदाद जो भी अपना यूटेंसिल वो खत्म हो जाएगा, इसीलिए जाते नहीं, छुड़ाते नहीं। मैंने बोली इनके लिए तो कुछ करना होगा। केवल सी सिविल जो लोग ये नहीं है, आप जानते हैं गवर्नर चांसलर होते हैं यूनिवर्सिटी का केसेस भी, ये जितने भी यूनिवर्सिटी का वाइस चांसलर, जितने प्रोफेसर कोर्ट का चक्कर लगाते रहते हैं, क्लास में टीचर नहीं होते, क्योंकि रोज चक्कर सालों साल, ये क्या हो रहा। तो मैंने बोली कुछ तो करना चाहिए। लेकिन मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहती हूँ, वहाँ तो अपना एक संस्था बनाया है झालसा, है ना, उसके जरिए वो एक दिन में ऐसे काम किए, दिन रात, एक दिन में वो शायद 5,000 होगा। एक बार पीके मिश्रा उन दिनों यहीं पे चीफ जस्टिस थे, उनको बुलाया गया, एक दिन में 5,000 केसेस वो ख़त्म कर दिए। सेकेंड टाइम फिर ऐसे ही लिए आपका हायर एजुकेशन का, वहाँ का भी उनको लीम का बुक ऑफ रिकॉर्ड में उनका नाम दर्ज हो गया। वो डीएन पटेल पूरा भागे भागे आई, हम लोगों को किया, मुझे ऐसे करते रहो, क्योंकि उन लोगों को इतने साल गुनाह किया है कि नहीं किया है, ट्रायल पे अभी तो है। मैंने बोली ABCD कुछ करो, A20 ऐसे कैटेगराइज करो, उनका ख़त्म करो। ये सरकार के ऊपर ये बोझा बनते हैं। हम उनको, ये तो अभी तो ह्यूमन राइट्स भी है, आके उनको हम स्किल्ड करा सकते हैं। बाहर भी वो आना नहीं चाहते, क्योंकि बाहर आके समाज उनको बुरा मानेगा। इसीलिए मैं इस चीज़ को आपके ऊपर छोड़ रही हूँ, क्योंकि ये क्यों नहीं जाते हैं गांव के लोग छुड़ाने के लिए। बहुत सारे लोग क्या क्या करते हैं पता नहीं, जिंदगी ही ख़त्म कर देते हैं, लेकिन बाहर में घूमते हैं। इसके लिए आपके ऊपर मैं छोड़ती हूँ, क्योंकि ये जो 3 जो स्तंभ है, 3 जो विंग है, लेजिस्लेचर, एग्जीक्यूटिव और जुडिशियरी, कहीं कहीं जनसाधारण के लिए, देश के लिए, लोगों के लिए, तो कहीं कहीं सबका मन, सबका सोच एक होना चाहिए। चेक एंड बैलेंस तो होना चाहिए, लेकिन कहीं कहीं हम लोगों को एक साथ मिलकर काम करना चाहिए। जैसे जैसे लोग, पहले तो गांव में हर चीज़ ख़त्म होता था, बहुत सारे चीज़ें जी, बहुत सारे सोसाइटीज़ है, बहुत सारी चीज़ें गांव में ही ख़त्म हो रहा है। आज छोटी छोटी बात में लोग जाते हैं, उसको कुछ किया जा सकता है, बैठ के बात करना है, और उसको मुझे लगता है लोगों को हम लोगों के लिए है, लोगों के द्वारा है, इसीलिए लोगों के लिए सोचना हम लोगों का काम है। आप लोग सब यहाँ जो बैठे हैं, बहुत अनुभवी, बहुत ज्ञानी गुणी जजेस बैठे हैं, आपको सोचना है, हम सबको एक रास्ता निकालना है। कि कहते हैं आजकल तो और ज़्यादा जेल बहुत सारे इतने ओवर क्राउडेड हो गए, और सारा बहुत सारे प्रिजन बनाना होगा। अरे हम ये आगे जा रहे हैं, हम विकास की ओर जा रहे हैं, फिर और ज़्यादा जेलें बनाने का ये क्या जरूरत है? कम करना चाहिए। मैं सब आपके ऊपर छोड़ रही हूँ, यहाँ लॉ मिनिस्टर है और आप सब जो जैसे, मैं अपने बात को अधूरा रखी, बाकी जो नहीं बोल रही हूँ वो चीज़ को आप समझिए। Constitution Day is a day to reaffirm our firm adherence to the constitutional ideals, as these are the ideals that have helped the nation proceed on the path of progress. I would like to compliment the Supreme Court of India for organizing this function. I am grateful to the Chief Justice of India for giving me an opportunity to be here among you today. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you, Honorable President Ma'am. Your words and your journey are truly a source of inspiration for each one of us. May I now request the Honorable Shri Justice M.R. Shah, Judge Supreme Court of India, to propose a vote of thanks.
Namaskar. The Honorable the President of India, Srimati Draupadi Murmu, Honorable the Chief Justice of India, Dr. Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, Honorable Union Minister for Law and Justice, Shri Kiran Rijiju, my esteemed colleagues, Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaul, Justice K.M. Joseph, Justice Ajay Rastogi, my sister and brother judges, sitting and former, Laded Attorney General for India, Shri R. Venkatramani, Laded Senior Solicitor General of India, Shri Tushar Mehta, Honorable Chief Justices and Judges of the High Courts, coming from the various parts of the country, Shri Manan Kumar Mishra, Chairman Bar Council of India, members of the bar present, all other dignitaries present here in the August gathering, members of the registry, members of the media, both print and electronic, ladies and gentlemen. It is a unique honor to propose a vote of thanks on the 73rd Constitution Day. I consider it to be my proud privilege to express my gratitude to all of you on the occasion of celebration of the Constitution Day. As observed by Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, the heart and soul of the country is the Constitution. Unity in diversity is the identity of India. It is not just an ordinary day in which we will celebrate our rights and reaffirm our duties to make a commitment that the three pillars of the government of India will adhere and uphold to the principles enshrined in our Constitution. It is said that even a dictatorial government, there might be constitution, but not necessarily there will be constitutionalism. Like every judicial officer has a picture of preamble of the Constitution of India in their office, I urge all the citizens of India to at least once read the preamble in their own native language, and if possible to keep a photo of it in your home. This will remind them of the efforts and toil that our freedom fighters had to deal in order to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic and republic country. This will also remind everyone of their fundamental rights and duties. Let us create a constitutional culture. Every citizen is aware of their rights which are bestowed by the Constitution. However, it is the time to remind the citizens of their duties owed to the nation. I extend a hearty vote of thanks to Her Excellency the Honorable the President of India, Srimati Draupadi Murmu, for inspiring thoughts. I express my deep gratitude to Honorable the President of India for sparing her valuable time and gracing this occasion by providing inspiring and emotional thoughts. We all know her by her simplicity. Let us all follow the constitutional values followed by her and by the Honorable the President of India. Her Excellency, on behalf of myself and all other behalves, we share the emotions shared by you today, and we all will try to perform our duties on what your emotions were shown by you. We have amidst us a very energetic and dynamic Law Minister, Shri Kiran Rijiju, the Ministry of Law and Justice, under whose leadership the constitutional values guaranteed in the Constitution of India are being maintained. We are looking for modern infrastructure, not only for the present, but also for the future. To strengthen the judicial system is the call of the day, as it is the backbone of democracy, whereas the legislature is the heart and the executive is the brain. All these three organs of the state have to work independently, but in tandem to make the democracy successful, to visualize and for effective implementation of the constitutional aspirations and its values. Sir, I extend my hearty vote of thanks to you. I express my deep gratitude and congratulate our dynamic Chief Justice of India, Dr. D.Y. Chandrachud. He is a visionary man, and to do justice to the common and needy man up to the grassroots level is in his heart. His dream is to reach to the common and the needy man up to the grassroots level by computerization and digitalization, and to enhance the accessibility to justice. I congratulate him for the successful conference. I also thank the Honorable Chief Justice of India to choose very important subjects for deliberations in the conference. I am thankful to all my sister and brother judges, present and past, for gracing this occasion. I am also thankful to Dr. R. Venkat Ramani, Learned Attorney General for India, and Sri Tushar Mehta, Learned Solicitor General, and other dignitaries for gracing this occasion and the conference. I have no words indeed to express my gratitude to all the Chief Justices and the judges who have come from various parts of the country to make this conference a success. Your august presence indicates the importance of the event. I am indeed thankful to the members of the independent and the robust Bar of India. I extend a very hearty vote of thanks to all the speakers for sharing their thoughts today. I am deeply grateful to the registry and all the staff and all concerned from various departments who have worked tirelessly to make this conference a great success. I am also thankful to the members of the press and the media for performing an effective role by performing their duties within the framework of the Constitution of India and the fundamental rights guaranteed under the Constitution of India. I, on behalf of Supreme Court of India, Honorable the Chief Justice of India, all sister and brother judges, and on my own behalf, express deep gratitude and thank to all of you for making this auspicious day a great success. Before I conclude, I may quote what Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar said, quote, however good a constitution may be, if those who are implementing it are not good, it will prove to be bad. However bad a constitution may be, if those implementing it are good, it will prove to be good, unquote. Let us all follow the constitutional values and follow what Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar has said. I am thankful to all of you for giving me this opportunity to share my views and give me the opportunity to vote of thanks. Jai Hind, Bharat Mata ki Jai.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem.